There are some major issues affecting small businesses, and the FSB has been leading on them, such as the interest rate default swaps. Can you give us some more information on those?
Yes, this is where businesses have been encouraged by their banks to sign up to what they felt would be help them when interest rates had radical change or significant changes, and it's actually worked against them. I've come across businesses that have been made to go into liquidation because of these agreements, the cost of maintaining them, and also having to make people redundant. This is not the time to have these types of agreements. The banks need to really get to grips with many of their policies to do with PPI, LIBOR, and this interest rate swap agreement. The interest rate swap agreements, the banks have had to make a £900 million provision in their accounts for reimbursing the missold products just on interest rate swaps. That has to be ultimately paid for by the customer, i.e. our members as well. It is quite ridiculous the way some of these banks have been operating. They've lost the trust of many of our members and the wider business community, and they've got a lot of regrouping to do.
And again, influence on this problem is going to have to come from the Prime Minister or the Chancellor. How are you engaging with the Prime Minister to get this message across to him?
Yes, we raised this issue at the Prime Minister's Business Advisory Group in May, and have had various meetings with the Chancellor. It's been raised with him in correspondence, and it'll be on my list for raising during the coming weeks or so. And with the Vince Cable, the BIS Secretary, we've raised it there. We have been pursuing that issue in a very significant way because we feel that so many of our members have been suffering at the hands of the banks that we have to stand up for them wherever we can.
And I know that recently you wrote to the Chancellor and met with him in the middle of November about his forthcoming budget statement. What are you hoping to see in that statement?
Well, the national insurance is one of our leading issues at the moment. We feel that new jobs can be created by a freezing of national insurance, employers' national insurance for new employees, 1, 2 and 3. The next 3 new employees for small business would have their employers' national insurance waived for a period of time. There's also the excise duty on motoring taxation. For example, here in the province, you're very reliant upon rural areas. There's lack of public transport. I know you have a fairly limited railway structure here. So therefore, getting around in the car or in vans and lorries is the only way to have transport. So putting up these taxes will not help business continue the recovery that it desperately needs.